feeling the need for speed.
I didn't know that overnight you became a fuel engineer, so.
Bradenton, day 11. Don't even know what day it is. So yesterday, obviously, you've seen what happened there, but we got everything cleaned up last night. New fire bottles in it. Cletus actually had the same fire bottles I run, so new fire bottles, good to go. We're gonna get out and make a couple test hits with it today, see if we can creep up on it, make sure we got good data, and then hopefully pack it up, get it over to Orlando, and then get ready for sick week. Well, spend all this time getting ready for sick week, but get closer to sick week without running the car till Sunday. So that's the goal. But seems close. And hey, I recovered. I had moisturizer and everything last night, so I mean, it was good. It was a full exfoliation. So, but either way, fire system works. Mag's the man. So you run that. Literally went in my eyes, and because it's water-based, so nothing went in my eyes. No, I mean, no redness, no nothing. So all good. Yep, that's what I got for you. So get a couple test passes in, and hopefully we'll see you in a few days. Thanks, guys.
To deploy. I was like, man, this thing's kind of driving funny. This thing's kind of feel like it's going into 100-mile-an-hour handling. And then I'm like, oh, I see like pink flop up in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, that'll do it. That'll do it. But I thought it had just come out because like I couldn't see it until like later in the run, and then they told me that it popped out on the starting line. So it's pretty cool. At least it's pretty color. Well, I thought we were figuring a lot out, and we kind of are, and we're kind of not at the same time. Like, we need a couple more passes to confirm what we think we know. We're running low 7s, 17s, 720s with some really weird RPM issues. It's like we're shifting, not a transmission issue. It's not a transmission issue. But we're shifting, and it's just like not seeing the RPM drop that we want to see. So we're sorting through what's causing that now. We think we may be like just pumping the transmission dry. So we'll know sooner than later. My aunt may be flying down from Arkansas to bring me a converter because I left it there. So if she does that, she's the real champ. If we need it. I'll let you guys know what I know.
Last pass today was on its way to a solid 780, 790 maybe, and hit my boost safety cutoff, so shut her off at the 8th, still went like a 530, so I'm pretty happy. We're gonna wait till we get to Orlando to make another pass, and we'll hopefully do like a one and done when we do testing. Not bad. It's typical drag sickened, or you know, drag sickened driving sickened drag and drive stuff. Had mechanical breakage that wasn't related to me. A really bad, potentially mechanical related issue that was related directly to me. It's my fault, but Lord willing, and seemed to have got away with clean and clear. And then, which caused a couple other little problems. Everything from blew a spark plug out, right, the porcelain, all the way right out through this. It was, the porcelain is still in the spark plug boot. Spark plug body was still in the head. They were not connected. And then went and made a pass like that, and it was a real pooch. It's like 10 mile an hour off. Well, it was on 7 cylinders because I should have replaced the spark plug. So came back, replaced the spark plug, went out there, went a normal baseline pass. So 2 days to make a baseline pass. Typical. But I've been working on making sure that Kyle's going and he's getting all his crap together. So we're getting pretty close on that. But everything's working good in the car. The engine's great. I think I didn't mess up the second transmission, so I think that's pretty good. And car's working well. Everything's good there, so we're all good. So.
needed. We'll see.
Well, I think the 5 gallons.
I don't think the 60 foot got any better.
Buckets
So
of water that's in there.
the 60 foot was the same, but hopefully that's enough that we can look at number 8, see what it looks like, and turn off the air bottle.
This tire will be fine because it's fat, but is that the front tire gonna be fine?
Okay, then put that way a little bit. Nope, other way. Yep.
Let it go.
Okay, go. We've got the.
We're out
So
of
what's
gas.
the plan for changing the fuel system?
All in the need for speed. All right, guys, it is Saturday. We still have the issue with the lean cylinder. We're going to work on just band-aiding it, but then talk to the guys at Real Street. They have a bunch of fittings here, so we are at Real Street. Is this still Orlando?
It's Sanford.
So Sanford.
Yeah,
so,
Real Street Performance.
Yeah, so which they're getting their Mustang ready to go, but they said they have a bunch of fittings, so we are going to try and replumb this a little bit to see if we can fix cylinder 8. Who knows? Saturday. Check-in's not till tomorrow, so we should be fine. and actually, with what we're doing, ours looks easy because they still have a lot to do on that car, it looks like. So
What? We had like 2 months, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're ready to go. And then last night I'm like, Jim, come to the shop early. I feel like we gotta change everything.
hey, and they may need some advice because they're plumbing in a fire system, so I can show them like where the nozzles go and stuff like that. So, especially the ones inside the car. So, like,
Point it directly at the face.
so 'cause I can tell you, my face and my crotch is good.
We gotta keep the money areas good. You know what I mean? It's the money makers.
We didn't have a leak nowhere. It was awesome.
completely covered.
So is feeding everything with 112 and splitting it into 4 12s gonna have the same pressure?
This wasn't my plan. I don't know.
I think you're just looking for volume, not pressure at that point.
We can raise pressure with the
Pressure builds
regulator.
itself.
Greg was wanting volume,
Yeah.
so that's what we're shooting for. And then we're gonna know if it's. Well, now we're doing it totally different. So
Well, now we're doing
right
Harry's
to Harry's way.
Right.
So if it's wrong, it's Harry's fault. Now we have 4,
You have enough line and
but I'm not the fluid engineer to say that's not a sweet flow.
Right.
Pressure's pressure.
I found 2 of the T's.
Okay. And then we were thinking about like this is pretty open in here,
Yeah.
and putting them on the sides.
Yep. Yeah, like we were kind of originally
Even
talking.
if that was cut off,
Right.
and we put 2 on the sides, that's a terrible flowing.
Yeah, the
piece
2
of
aren't
trash
gonna.
too,
Yeah,
right.
aren't gonna get that much.
Right. So I guess somebody has to pick which one's gonna flow the best.
Of course, the money man.
Out of well, he's out of the equation now. He
Yeah.
left it up to us.
Plus, that's gonna be kind of hard to get down to as well.
We would have to just weld something
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna be
and
a
just
12.
do a 12
long.
sticking out
Yeah.
and put it on there.
Are these 10 or 12?
These are 10s.
Well, this is gonna warp real bad
So
because there's an O-ring under here.
yeah. Like the Wilson, I think, is one piece. That's
Yeah.
what he started this with, was
Mhm.
thinking about the Wilson one, because we just went through all this water stuff, and was looking at every possible manifold to do what we needed to do, and then we wound up changing everything. So I like
You
it.
were the ones that were trying to
Right.
reduce the
Well,
return.
Harry said 6, feed it with 12s, and we only have a 10, so we need a 10 to tie that all back together. So
Right,
I
which this
get
is
it.
a 10.
So
But if we
yeah,
can
let's just do
reduce
the
the-
hole just a little bit smaller.
Yeah, we'll do it like a 8 or so, and then
Yep.
that'd give a lot of material, more
Yep.
material to weld around.
Yes, sir. Perfect. You heard it right here.
Perfect.
If
So
it
if it
doesn't
fucks up-
work, it's his fault.
I would want it welded because it's 140 psi and fuel.
Yep.
Now, our welder, as you know, he didn't die, but the other welder died. He can bring it home.
I got here and they
he
said
can
you
bring
died.
It, he can bring
Yeah,
it home
no,
with him
no.
and weld it tonight, and then we go have it first thing tomorrow morning at the track for you guys. Or you can make a decision if you want to run with the bolts and think that it's going to be okay or not.
There's 140 psi right there.
Well, it's fuel pressure. How much fuel pressure is this thing around the base?
Yeah, well, that's our base is down to 45, so I mean it'll be.
Oh, your base is at 45 now?
So
it's
it'll
gonna
be
90.
90, so-
Okay, so it's better.
Well-
Your decision on that.
Bolt it
Well, it'll be
together for now.
110.
Okay, it's your decision on that. I didn't, I just
I
wanted to
think
give you
it'll
the
be
suggested on that with the seal and the bolts and just
If
four.
not, we'll get like what, silicone?
Well,
JB
I say
Weld.
JB Weld.
JB
Well,
Weld.
I say let's make the fittings, like let's put it all together.
Yeah,
And then
right.
let's take it back apart, and then I guess you weld it and bring it.
Okay, because I'll make all the fittings. It's done. We just push it in and load it up. He brings us home, and then in the morning we hand it to you and it's welded.
Right.
So we don't need the screws.
Well, I would still screw it too.
Well, yeah, we'll screw it and then weld it.
Yeah.
I just won't put the O-ring in there because it's going to heat up.
Let's see the tops. I got 2 different size. Pop the bottom off.
I think it's tight fit. Does he have those screws still that he got? I'd like to.
I know. I was like, I didn't even see that you're here, and I was like, oh look, Amy's popped up out of the basement.
Pull in. Okay, I drove all that. So Doug Cook called me last night and he's like, "Hey buddy, you got a crimper and some fittings at your shop, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure do." So Tom brought his car in. They were experiencing a little fuel pressure issue by the way the system was plumbed. So we kind of redesigned that in a way that we know works on an engine with large injectors. When the large injectors open, all the fuel goes away, and now the fuel will be pressurized from both sides of the rail to try to even out the cylinders. We had to utilize what we had at the shop because we weren't necessarily prepared for this. So we made 3 or 4 fittings and a manifold to get it done so we can race the car tomorrow so they can race.
How that works out. So we just went with the 8-hole to try and slow it down a little and see how that works out.
The other two is what is the relative? Is there something that makes that relative pressure? The pressure's being measured right here, so
Well,
that's where we're pulling our pressure out. So the question is, we're pumping this as hard as it can, and it can only flow out through there. Wouldn't that pressure in the rail actually be higher?
Clearly, we don't know shit about fuel systems, so I'm not even going to try and answer that question.
Because I'm just saying we're pumping it in so hard, it's only got an output of that.
But I think you found somebody at a company that you work pretty close with that is an expert in this. And maybe that's a question for him.
Well, and the thing is, even before, we're putting it in the 4 ways, but we were at 10 before, so if we've gone down to an 8 now, we're a little bit smaller, but
It's an 8-hole, but is it truly an 8-line? Because you figured the whole length of distance would be a restriction versus,
right.
I would think.
Either way, this is the way Harry wanted it,
Kinda.
almost. about as good as it's gonna get. But like, so we will see if this corrects cylinder 8 issue, and we'll know tomorrow when we test before we start the race, if we get a chance to test tomorrow. But literally, yeah. So we changed it all, hoping for the best, and we'll roll in and. All right, so we're wrapping up here at Real Street. We got the fuel system rewired Harry's way, or replumbed Harry's way. So it is there. Lots of parts. They were able to come with parts, fittings, borrowed stuff, stole
Made
stuff,
lathe,
made
drill,
stuff,
welder.
stuff. So if we used your parts, we're sorry. We will get new parts for your car. Too.
Oh yeah, Jay's manifold.
Yeah, there you go. Jay's,
Come on,
there you go. Jay's manifold. We will get the part. So, but once again, I mean, he welded everything up for us. What's your name again?
Jim.
See, I'm so horrible with names. So Jim got everything welded up. There was a short scare because we thought Jim died, because I came back from running down to the track and they said the welder died. So I'm like, luckily Jim was good. It was the welder that was acting up, so he wanted some other stuff. And then Brett, right? Brett? It's not Brent. Brett.
Not Brett.
Okay. Brett got us all hooked up with the stuff, and Dougie made the call last night, and here we are. We're 30 minutes from the track, so it's in the box. We got to get registration tomorrow, and hopefully what we came up with works better than what we had. I'm sure it can't be worse. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you race day.